Before the seed becomes the tree, it listens to what it used to be. Ancestral shapes in silent air, a blueprint floating everywhere. Not coded, only strand by strand, but shaped by some remembering hand. The past leans forward into now and whispers how. Patterns ripple, never die. Forms repeat, though none know why. Across the species, cell to cell, a story field can tell. Resonance, invisible thread, living memory of the dead. Every habit once began echoes under moon and sun. Nature learns what nature does. Law becomes what habit was. You say the mind is locked in bone, neurons firing all alone, but thought spills past the skull's design through gesture, rhythm, space, and sign. Why do eyes feel when they're seen? Why you pets way in between the turning key and opening door? Has it seen you before? See, no, not to wire wave, but something subtler we misname. Perhaps the mind is not contained, just like they find. Resonance, invisible thread, memory when thoughts are spread. None is sparked behind the eyes, but feels where consciousness replies. Not confined to flesh alone. The mind may dogmas carved in modern stone, declared as facts not overthrown. Matter first and meaning last, future locked inside the past. But if assumptions wear a crown, does curiosity bow down when doubt is fenced and questions barred? Is science still? Restriction does not silence phase when guardians of truth decree what may or may not inquiry be. The question lingers in the air. What are we afraid to do?
he had these whole ideas. He was going to guarantee all British possessions overseas, even in the face of the Japanese, because he could have tamed the Japs on that. But Churchill would have been out of a job, and he had already received a lot of money from the Focus, to be Germany's arch nemesis. Which, I mean, up to that time, I don't think he was particularly anti-German. After that time, it was like, we have to stop Hitler. We have to stop the Germans. The Germans. And I know, I mean, this is a very complex subject, and I didn't mean to start going on about Winston Churchill. It has been wonderfully deconstructed, the nude drunkenness, the drunken nudity, the art forgeries. It is rather wonderful to read these little foibles of a great heroic man. Yeah, I do kind of respect him showing up drunk and nude occasionally at cabinet meetings. Just throw him a curveball there, So he did have some interesting sides too.
Me and Mark actually did something this year about that stuff. So I mean, just to point out, it's not really that much of a. Don't worry about it. That's what I'm basically saying. I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
I was watching something about 3 days ago now, comparing the British Empire to the sort of modern day US Empire, if you like, and they brought up a very controversial but possibly true point, in which when we had an empire, we exported things like westernized law. We exported medical knowledge. We exported and now what is the US exporting to their
venereal diseases?
No, they exporting woke ideologies.
No.
Come on, guys.
Well, that was the case. They had the LGBT PDQ flag flying over every American embassy at one time or something. I heard something about it. I thought that was rather ridiculous.
Where that
keep
comes
in mind,
from, though, is controversial.
The British Empire, I think, was also, there was a moral imperative.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that the moral imperative was the thing that was driving. What was the old thing? They kind of stumbled into the empire. Oh, well, just said, we better conquer that. Oh, my goodness, look at this. We have like 3/4 of the globe. Just a coincidence, just kind of blundered into it. Yeah. But there was also the moral imperative of, you're going to uplift people. This was the late Victorians. This was the fault. This was the fault of education, because as it was pointed out, the British Empire was not built by well-educated people who were trying to raise up the spiritual, psychological, ethical, and political level of the natives. It was built by pink-faced, pink-jacketed old Tory squires who were fox hunters and just said, this is basically Colonel Blimps who were ready to go in there and just give him another volley, give him a broadside kind of deal, and sail into the bay. And we've jolly well got a lot more guns than you. We've got the Maxim gun, so you do what you're bloody well told, and we're going to sell our opium wherever we say we're going to sell it. That's what built the empire. And one of my arguments in realpolitik always is, it's like with the Monroe Doctrine, which has sadly fallen off. Somebody posted an infographic about the number of right-wing military coups that were backed by the United States government in South America. And it started off with ones in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. They petered around 2008. And I said, that just goes to show that the Monroe Doctrine has not been enforced since 2008. Of course, before the 1950s, people were not so finicky. They would just send in a bloody gunboat and some Marines. After that, they had to just, do it a little more carefully. But there's been no imposition of the Monroe Doctrine since 2008. The result is you've got Venezuela, where basically run by Red China through Cuba. And I mean, when I heard that Maduro's bodyguards are all Cubans, that means they're taking their orders from Havana. They're his guards in both ways. They're guarding him from the people that don't want him, but they also mean that he's going to follow orders or he'll be shot. When you've got foreign mercenaries guarding you is one thing, but when it's a foreign military who are taking their orders from somewhere else, that's classic Roman Empire stuff. That's when they would install these tetrarchs or kings, and they'd have a Roman bodyguard, but it also meant you obeyed Rome, and he was obeying Havana. So this is like Monroe This is what happens when you let the Monroe Doctrine down. somebody else moves in. It's a vacuum space. And again, I'm not advocating things. I'm not saying I agree. It's not nice. But if you're going to run a country, if you could climb on the tiger of the Monroe Doctrine and dominating your hemisphere, you dare not dismount because your enemies are waiting for you. The empire had many enemies. And getting back to the British Empire, they did a study.
Right?
They lost India because, we'll get back to that. They lost India. They did the study. They said the only way we could keep India is to basically treat it like the Russians would. They didn't want to do that. They would just the manpower and this, and they'd have to go in there and do it like, just go in and be really brutalize everything, just to hold it down. And I can see dismounting from that tiger. But once you mount these realpolitik things, you can't get down again because people are waiting.
Your mic.
People are waiting. That's going to be.
Indians overthrew Britain so quickly. I like that. They didn't take that too well at all.
Now, in modern day, I want to point out a name, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him before, but this was a guy that, like, a lot of the stuff everybody likes to say is like back in the day, but this is current when it comes to the kind of stuff that you guys are talking about. His name was James Still. Have you guys ever heard of him? Colonel James Still. He was a retired colonel.
Familiar.
Yeah.
No, he was.
Sorry, before you finish off that point, I remember that name that we were looking for earlier. We were thinking of Noriega.
Noriega?
Yeah.
Oh, Noriega.
In the previous conversation.
No, I think they were right about. I think they were right about Arafat because he's the one that Hussein had to train in before he went off to Iraq from Egypt, because they were both being put in power by the United States and the UN, I guess you'd say. I don't know who would be. Well, it was kind of shady about the whole thing with Saddam Hussein. How
Yasser Arafat and Ringo Starr were the same person.
I could believe it.
I don't know.
I've never seen the two of them in a photograph together.
You'll find within, let's say, the last 100 years, the major players when it comes to international policies would be US, Britain, and France.
Well, let's leave France out of it.
Those three parties keep popping up in a lot of politics.
A lot of my conspiracies that I did this year concerning like real politics when it comes to like the nuclear testing and stuff that took place in the Pacific and JFK in the Philippines. When it comes to all of the problems that took place in the Pacific, everything led back to France.
Builds where silence leans, load increases, teeth don't give, grease burns off the spinning law, metal learns what pain is for, every turn demands its cost, momentum fed by what was lost, the rim still sings, the axle screams, nothing turns the way it seems, heat is memory made loud, truth grinding through the shroud. This is the bearing of fire, where motion starts to bleed. Every turn gets harder now, the wheel remembers me. This is the bearing of fire, where systems lose is what it feels. This is the bearing of fire, where control starts to slip. Every cycle shakes apart at the center of the spin. This is the bearing of fire, where silence starts to scream. Friction writes the only truth the system can't delete. You called resistance noise, you called pain a rounding error, but he remembers every lie and torque does not forgive. More angel sings in uptime now, no prophet clears the jam, just sparks beneath the casting and a question in the load exceeded. Lubrication failed. Cycle integrity compromised. This is the bearing of fire, where motion finds a soul. Every crack a voice return you never could control. This is the bearing of fire, the cost of turning blind. Friction is the sound of truth grinding. Turn like a tide, turn harder, hate higher, spin faster. Turn harder, hate higher, spin faster.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm talking about post World War II.
Oh, I thought we were gonna leave France out
Before
of it.
World War II.
Well,
The US was really,
France,
arguably almost a third world country.
France was the
Yeah.
biggest.
Well, they're trying to kill De Gaulle, right? Day of the Jackal. That's why he pulled France out of NATO, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
Because he thought he traced the French intelligence traced the assassin back to NATO.
mhm. Well, the thing of it is he wouldn't lay off on his nuclear programs. You
Oh,
remember
not him.
you remember Bikini Island?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bikini Atoll. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where there was a crab and a
Yeah,
seashell
yeah.
and
That was
sponge
yeah. A sponge
under the
and a
sea.
pineapple under the sea. Yeah, no,
Pineapple.
that was from the
Yeah.
radiation. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that story.
all of that had to do with France and their refusal to freaking slow down on the nuclear testing that they were doing in the Pacific back then. Every
Dude,
other
the
country,
U.S. has been doing the same. That's not the only atoll that's
Not
been
like those Frenchmen, though. Oh my God, those
Mhm.
dirty French
Come
bombs.
on.
You don't want
It
those
is- it
French
is-
bombs going off. You know,
The
an
French-
American or a British bomb, okay, that may be a Russian, but French bombs. Come on.
the French have been aggressive in
The
every
French fallout
situation.
makes you you eat baguettes. It's terrible. The people affected by
It
it.
might mutate into frogs.
No, the
Who will
horse.
then
If-
turn gay.
No, it's the eating of the horse is what's bad. Germany wants you to eat the bugs. Freaking Canadian French and French want you to eat the horse. They're cannibals.
Got a good eating on there, they say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know that they're disgusting people if they're eating horse meat. I mean, just plain and simple. You can't tolerate that stuff. No good solid
You
American.
can buy it in New Jersey, or at least you used to be able to buy it in New Jersey. Someone told me. I don't know. I've never eaten horse. I don't intend to eat horse. I have seen a can of USDA horse meat. It was in a can with a picture of a horse on it.
Well, Mark told me that you can still buy it in England. I know it's legal in England.
Yeah,
You can get it in Europe. Yes, you absolutely can.
yeah, you can, but it's very, very rare. There was a scandal with some major supermarkets a couple of years ago where products like pre-made lasagnas were filled with horse meat, and that wasn't really related to the fact that there was horse meat there. The problem was it was labeled as beef, so it was advertised on.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So not everybody here wants to try horse meat.
I don't think so.
Try
Man.
everything.
I'm sorry. I probably should joke about something like that.
you well, I mean, that's kind of horrible. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't civilized humans haven't eaten freaking horses since they learned how to ride them. Like, back in the day, I could understand when you were like back when humans were just learning how to ride horses. Just before that, they were freaking herding them up and eating them, and some tribes still do it. But
I like what you just said. Civilized humans don't eat horse meat.
well,
So
Yeah,
you say
'cause we can't talk
people in
about the
France
caveman.
and Canada are civilized.
well, I mean, if they're eating horses, no.
Neanderthals.
If they-
No, I'm not calling them Neanderthals. I'm just saying
Well, I
in
am.
that
Well,
era.
You could just say non-French humans. I guess it would mean the same thing. Civilized non-French.
I mean, caveman. Okay. I'm not gonna go there.
well, I mean,
Continue.
I mean,
I mean, the other day, me, Mudge, and Tan was talking about things like blood sausage and blood-related dishes. I doubt that any of you've eaten blood sausage or black
No.
pudding or the various other different blood dishes, but I love black pudding.
I gotta
Well,
ask you something.
traditionally you use all the animal too. You don't let that go to waste. That's good calories and protein. Blood has to be processed, but it's a nutritious food.
Well, Scandinavians do that too. Like, they even use
You keep
the
what you
milk.
kill.
They use the marrow. They use the bone. They use everything out in Scandinavia.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty
They
cool.
had to. They didn't have much there.
Yeah.
You eat everything.
I have a question for you though, Mark.
Oh.
What do you think about menudo?
In what sense? What do I think? That's a very broad question.
Do you like menudo? Would you eat menudo?
What's wrong with Menudo?
You know what that
I
is?
thought that
don't
was a
you?
singer. I thought
Menudo.
Menudo was a singer.
Well, there is a singer Menudo.
It's a stew. It's a Mexican stew.
It's actually cow spring. They
I like haggis. I love haggis.
Haggis. Oh my goodness, a haggis eater.
Well,
Also,
There's no
I don't know
brain
if
in
this is gonna
haggis, is there?
get us- I don't know if this is going to get us banned from YouTube, but I also love eating faggots.
Oh right, yeah. I've heard they're tasty, but I'm not much for that kind of sausage.
in
It's a kind of sausage, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna not. I'm just gonna
Meatballs,
bow out of
really,
this one.
So did you just say that you like to eat faggots?
Yeah, as in the sort of meat traditional, is it West Country meatballs? Well, yeah,
Dude, I
Which is
love
meatballs
England,
made
dude.
with liver and kidneys and various other offal. And I love liver, actually. I am a big fan of liver.
My dad used to like liver. He used to cook that a lot. If you cook it right, it's very tasty. It's very tender. Or as these kids on TV, I hate liver. It's like, what? It's like delicious beef without any,
My dad, he used to tell me, "Shut the fuck up, sit down and eat your food before I smack you." You know? It's like, okay, yeah.
I didn't know I wasn't supposed to like. He was cooking one day, like, that smells really good. What is that? It's like liver. I'm like, oh, great. That smells good.
You know, I actually had an issue with spinach and liver, but then, like, I'd say right around 12 or 13, I actually ate spinach and I was able to actually enjoy it. And then,
Dude, he turned. You should have seen it. He turned like his forearms got huge. He started like beating people up.
He became a sailor.
that's just horrible. That's just horrible. I swear. Tonight was actually good because like we had so many different conversations. We really did, and it's like
We did.
and you know what's the most amazing thing? You know who shined the most out of all of it? Mark did.
Mr. Robot.
No, Mr. Robot.
He shined.
He fell asleep. He freaking never came back.
Nobody charged up his Tesla batteries.
Is he even still in the room, man? It's like, my God, where did you go, dude?
I don't know. Where he is, wouldn't it be 5 p.m. or half?
Yeah, it would
half
be.
6?
It'd be right around. What is it? What time is it now? Like 1 o'clock? It'd be about 3 or 4.
6:33
Hmm.
UTC.
So he'd be like about maybe 3 or 4 now.
Hope he's okay. He's lying across the keyboard, trying to reach the mouse.
I tell you what, it's probably a blessing because it's like unhealthy to have V and Mr. Robot in the same freaking chat for too long together. Because
Maybe
like,
there's a reason behind this then.
Like-
A
That's not
cosmic
true.
reason.
The stream between them, which we were
Yeah,
both
that-
on,
that was-
was-
we were gambling with our lives. Okay, it's just letting you know. You know what I mean? It's like I had to keep. Well, when it first started, I wanted to keep Mr. Robot occupied. If he had to ask me the questions, then that means that he'd be occupied and he wouldn't be sitting back in the background coming up with crazy stuff to talk about. You know what I mean? And I knew if it was vice versa, V would be doing the same thing to him.
Oh, I bet.
You know what I mean? So freaking I figured, hold on, dude. Let Mr. Robot interview V, and he did a really good job. I think he did. I think you guys did a really good
I
show.
Oh, it's a phenomenal show.
Well, it went. I was very surprised, to be honest with you. It was very, very entertaining. It was good. And
I like being the interviewee, not the interviewer. But you know,
you were the interview.
you gotta wear multiple hats in this industry.
You can always interview yourself too. You can be both.
Right.
You know what happens to a guy who wears 2 hats?
What?
He gets beat up. He's a nerd.
I was just saying he has a hat for his other head,
I-
you know, in case it gets hard.
like like a dork going to a baseball game. You know, he doesn't know which team he's on, so he just wears both of them. You know what I mean? It's like somebody's gonna hit him. You know what I mean? Just point blank.
Right.
It's like you don't.
Just don't punch with a threat, okay?
You gotta have the hat that's one color one side and a different color on the other.
I walk into the clinic just after sunrise. Shuffles over long night behind. Need a little cash for the weekend coming. Figured I'd trade a little blood for time. The tech said sit down, roll up your sleeve. Now machines humming low in the room. I watched the needle like a bad omen waiting. Didn't know the trouble coming soon. Shifted. Cold went running down my spine. They left the sun in just to hold it together. Said you're lucky, everything's fine. But I saw the bandage growing like a white flag, wrapped halfway up my arm. Thinking the only thing keeping my blood from spraying was a piece of plastic holding on. Now I'm Nero Key at the blood bank, trying not to pass out in the chair. Life giving red in a plastic tube and a tick saying don't you stare. Got a bandage on my right arm tonight in a story I can't outrun. Sometimes you walk in for a little money and walk out lucky you're still warm. Got home and the shock hit later, hands shaking like winter wind. soul slipped and a story that refused to stay. Sometimes you trade a little plasma just to keep the lights on bright. But tonight I'm trading stress for silence. We'll pick the show up tomorrow night.
And then you just, depending on who you're sitting next to, you just change the hat. Do it one way or the other.
Just promise me you won't punch him in the throat.
Well, I'm gonna stay away from that because
Yeah, that's a good idea.
since I started saying that, like all the women are saying mean, horrible things and acting really, really unresponsive towards me. You know.
Yeah, I can see where that might.
It's like you should have heard Sonya the other night. She was just horrible to me, dude. I was like, God damn. I just telling you to, let's not. All I told her was like, you know what? I don't want to hear your freaking life story, dude. I was just telling you to be careful. You know what I'm saying? It's like.
This Red Pill segment was brought to you by Marlboro cigarettes.
I just all these girls going around. Is Roger looking at my throat? Not getting a little worried. Backing off a little bit. He's not even looking at my throat there. Wait a minute.
You know, the only reason why I'm bringing all this up is because I'm keeping an eye on the
He's gonna do the
stream.
test. He's gonna do the test.
Yeah. I know how many viewers we got right now, so it's safe to talk about, but
You got to edit this out later.
it's like, my
Oh,
God. No, I mean, seriously, you got to be careful about what you say to women because I said that to her and she's like, well, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, man.
Did she 6'7" you?
No, I just told her, I was like, now you're out on your own. You need to be careful. You know what I mean? And she goes, well, I've been alone all my life. And I said, you know what? I'm talking about you being stranded on the interstate with freaking nobody there to help you. I'm not talking about you giving me your life story and shit.
No, you 6'7" her.
And she just, I didn't realize I'd said that. You know what I mean? I was like, it finally dawned on me. Like, I probably shouldn't have said that. She's
Roger,
really.
can I say it's been a week, and this talking to you, brother.
I'll tell you, I tried to take a break from the whole streaming thing, and the thing that I learned the most about taking that break is like I was addicted really, really bad to streaming. And like coming back and doing it again, I'm actually enjoying it now because I'm only doing it on one day.
Right.
And it's
Okay, yeah.
and it's like this time I'm starting to realize like just enjoy that day. Don't do any live streams for the rest of the week. Edit if you stuff like that, but don't get all carried away because I was doing one stream a day on every channel I had. That's not healthy.
Issue of burnout. Only issue, well, at the moment it's not a major issue, but the only issue I can foresee is sort of times, as far as I'm concerned, anyway.
What would?
But that's not a major issue at this present moment.
I mean, at the moment right now, I'm wanting to like Otto. He just started his show. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that I'm able to stream his. And then Summer said that she wants to do hers more. So that would be cool if she does hers on a while. But like other than that, all I have to do is I have to be responsible for me getting a stream in for myself. You know what I mean? And like right now, what I'm doing now, I'm doing it, just do it on Thursday, get it out of the way.
Right.
I've got these recorded as well as being streamed, so I can go through, make the edits.
Right.
So I mean, it just
You can dub in Mr. Robot's voice. He can join in the conversation
um
because he got his icon up on the screen. So
Yeah.
he can just
make it to where he's actually there. You go into AI and do a AI voice of Mr. Robot.
yeah, Mr. Robot. He'd love that. I'm sure.
He would actually. He would.
You'd know what to make him say too.
Oh yeah, I'd make him say all the bad stuff. Mr. Robot. I would make
have him admit to voting for Biden in 2020.
yeah.
Oh, you know, I was really actually on Biden supporter. No, that would be too bad.
No, it wouldn't. It would actually be appropriate. You should hear some of the stuff he makes me say with AI. He'll put Darth Vader on there, where Darth Vader says, "Come over to the Force, come over to the dark side." You know, he sends like these little bitty video tracks of me supposedly saying horrible things.
But no one would believe it was you.
Oh no. Like
It's not like you would say things like, you know, punching women in the throat or having a chance to punch a woman in the face in an MMA ring. You'd never say horrible things like that.
I actually,
I don't know about anybody else here, but you want to talk about diss track? Someone made an entire propaganda a witness stream about how horrible of a person that I or someone else was. They are identities confused, but I'll just say that for legal purposes.
Julio.
Yeah, it was just hilarious because I did run across a small patch of somebodies who were just like, "Hey, you're that guy." What guy? I had to follow the threads back to this video, and I just could do nothing but laugh. Just weird things. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was just apropos.
That was all just code words, man. I didn't understand none of that either.
Code words. Yeah.
Like code words.
I'm sorry. Did I speak too much jargon there for you?
No, it was just anonymous, like all suspicious and shit, like you're a spy and shit. Like
But for the conspiracy live stream, though, right?
Well,
this is the headlines after midnight.
Headlines after midnight. I've kind of set it up where we can do whatever we want to with it because it's like a midnight edition, you know.
Well, you know what? If something's new to me, then that's headlines, right?
Well,
there you go.
Flying straight to the head.
You know,
there you go.
Midnight.
That's telepathy.
What the hell? First of all, what the hell are you doing up at midnight in the first place? You know what I'm saying? It's like anybody who's sitting up at midnight to watch ABC or CNN News or whatever, Fox News, they're freaking sick in the brain anyhow. You know what I mean? So when I have to watch like late night news, I like to watch the stuff that's just hang out, have conversation. If something happens or something that's political that you want to talk about pops up, have a conversation about it, you know? I've never, like, wanted to just watch a news broadcast.
I don't know. As you know, I watch a lot of the Lotus Eaters, and that's all mainly political content on what they do. 2-3 episodes per day.
I'm talking about late at night.
I've seen the Lotus Eaters once in a while. When they do something, I mean, from what I've seen, they tend to be more UK politics, which is natural enough since they're in the UK. But I have caught their stuff once in a while when it's like a more international sort of thing. Because, you know, I mean, with all due respect, I don't understand the minutiae of like, you know, this guy on the back bench said this and that, and it's an implication of that. I have no idea. I barely can understand American politics, so. You know, the more complicated stuff like that, I tend to buzz by, but I've caught some of their stuff in more general, more international stories once in a while. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, they do quite a lot of international, if you want to call it that, international news.
But
yeah, their main focus is the UK because they are UK. They talk about.
His head starts shifting forward like a rattlesnake. You know what I mean? He's all primed up because you know what I mean. gets all excited over the Lotus Eaters and shit.
Well, I don't watch a lot of, I don't consume a lot of news. That's the thing. It's very rare, and I just pick up stuff from memes and like talking with you guys, or I go into like the Buddhist Discord and see what's in the current events thing there, or I might see something on Minds, or my wife will tell me about stuff. But she gets her news from whenever I look at what she's watching. It's either the Hindustani Times or Sky News Australia. And a handful of these really wacky YouTube guys, and that's where she gets most of her news, either from India or Australia.
You want to talk about amazing, dude? I was sitting here talking. You remember last week when V flipped out and started calling me a freaking racist piece of shit and said I didn't know anything about fucking nothing and left me.
This is a Dharma page, by the way.
Check your privilege.
Just before he did that, okay? He was talking exactly like Karma. You remember Karma, right? Karma Love, my old co-host, Karma Love.
Okay, yeah, Karma Love.
Like,
Doesn't say Harris.
Karma Love. Like, you started doing this, and I will tell you. And it's like I'm having flashbacks. I'm like, this is
What?
Karma,
Big
dude.
Mama's house. What?
I was having. Well, yeah, I guess you could say Karma. Karma was a big mama. She.
Norbit, don't let me tell you.
Karma, if you upset her, she would whoop your ass, dude. She was a tough girl. You could tell just by looking at her, dude. She knew how to hold herself. So
it's interesting that you point out Australian Sky, because Sky as an overall organisation is known to be quite biased.
You are safe. You are categorized. You are safe. Terminal breathing soft and slow. Watching everything you know. Measured pulse and measured tone. You are never here alone. Cursor resting in its place. Soft light touching on your face. Nothing here requires alarm. You were filed without harm. Remain still. Remain calm. There was never any harm. Low hazard. No threat detected. Low hazard. Your path corrected. Low hazard. No action required. Low hazard. You have expired. Low hazard. Containment correct. Low hazard. Accept your defeat. Low hazard. The system believes you are what it perceives. Coffee steaming in your hand. Everything proceeds as planned. Breathing steady, body warm. You exist outside the norm. But the screen has made its choice. Beauty now becomes your voice. Safe within the static glow. Safe where you can never go. Classification, stabilizing, observation, finalizing. Present slowly, minimizing, index fully, recognizing you are safe. You are safe. You are safe. Low Hazard, your form erased. Low Hazard, your signal displaced. Low Hazard, no witness remains. Low Hazard, no error remains. Low Hazard, terminal con. Low Hazard, system is strong. Low Hazard, you never exist. No fact that it's Thank you for your cooperation.
But Australian Sky, especially, I can think of two commentators on there. They tend to be more objective.
I'm not sure exactly. I look over her shoulder and I see it says Sky News Australia. I have seen the word Sky News Australia sometimes on the screen, but maybe I don't know if that means that it's this specific show or not. And like I said, often she's watching stuff from the Hindustani Times or the Times of India. I think she said to me once she didn't want anything to do with any American news organizations because she didn't trust any of them. So, and it also has to do when she wakes up because she watches this live stream from Scotland. So she'll actually probably be waking up in the next 10 minutes to half an hour to catch her stream. And so she turns on the news and, obviously there's more headlines coming from places on that side of the planet at this hour, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. I've never actually asked her. And again, I don't really follow the news that much, but you guys tell me what I need to know so I don't have to watch the news. I know Mark Edworthy's going to be watching the Lotus Eaters and he'll let us know what's up.
To be fair, you know what I wish I could watch more of, and it has nothing to do with these broadcasts, but I would love to be able to sit down and watch more Ag Day. Farmers reports.
Okay.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
Because all these guys are all watching these news reporters and shit like they actually know what the hell they're talking about. You know what I mean? You go to Ag Day and they're going to tell you about the agriculture reports and the stock markets, and you're going to find out about how freaking investors are buying and selling internationally.
Pork bellies. What are pork bellies doing?
Yeah. Well, actually, right now, freaking cattle is having an issue here in the United States. We're actually falling on cattle.
Actually, I think it was a Telegraph report. It could be I think it was a Telegraph report, a UK Telegraph report. Early or late last week, actually. Talking about US cattle, how the market sort of not doing as good.
And tractors for auction are at the all-time highest now, and it's been rising up for like the last 5-10 years.
Well, that's not surprising because of all the issues surrounding companies like John Deere.
Yeah,
that's not surprising at all.
And these are even used tractors. Like talking, they're the auctions are the ones that are selling the used tractors. These are like at an all-time high. And for tractors to be at an all-time high, that's a big issue.
People must be farming.
Well, kind of. The way it was explained to me was, or the way I understood it was, land right now is a big commodity.
Right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
The farmers are upping the prices on the farmlands for not just for people to own and have their own farms, but they also lease the farms out to other farmers so that
Oh
they can
yeah,
go in
yeah.
and put, you know what I
I
mean?
know. Yeah, a lot of farmers do that. I know some guys that you lease part of your fields to other guys to like grow grass or whatever.
Hmm. And the prices are going so high on that, and the reason why they're going so high is because the price of the tractors are going up and all of the equipment and everything.
Oh, right, right.
So it's
Oh, I see
Um,
I see what you mean. The prices are being driven by just the inflation and everything else. So
Mhm.
it's going to
Well,
push the
Tom,
land rental up.
there's another factor to that.
So,
You have all these farms, these crops that were taken over by Monsanto because they set a legal uh, uh, situation to where if a certain percentage of your farmland, if your crops is their product, then they get to take over and own your crops. And so Monsanto just started going seeding farms all across the nation and taking ownership of it.
Mhm.
There's also
but
the crop
also,
circles.
also,
The
also
crop
land
circles.
prices. Land prices is always a boom and bust sort of scenario, isn't it? Look at what happened in 2007. Um, so yeah, you might be on high at the moment, but in a couple of years' time, the landscape will probably change completely.
Why it all goes back to Canada. You know what I mean? Because like everybody's talking about China coming over here and buying our land and stuff. And nobody wants to actually do the research and find out that Canada owns the highest percentage of the land here in the United States from a foreign country. Like they're,
That's right. And Red China owns more
Absolutely.
Canadian politicians than any other country. So
mhm.
do the math. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, and we have these egg shortages. You know what I'm saying? Why do we have these egg shortages? It's because Canada is literally manipulating the prices of eggs.
I know 4 people with chickens. I have no egg shortages. And
You know, so
that's the other half. We should be growing our own food more than we do.
yeah,
I know a lot of people that homestead and people that just have their own gardens. I'd like to get a garden going back here. I tried tomatoes one year, but my yard is too shady. I got this bloody silver maple tree. Never plant a silver maple tree in your yard. They're the worst tree.
you want to hear the crazy thing about my brother?
So,
My brother wants to be a homesteader, right? But the only problem is he wants to get all of his food from UPS.
That's a weird homestead.
Yeah, he wants to buy that condensed shit and that dehydrated foods and stuff. He wants to buy it off
That,
of the
that's
internet.
prepper stuff. I mean, that's good if you can't grow your own, but a homesteader should be producing
Independent.
their own food so they're independent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that, how um, there's this farm show, Delston Farms, that's in Scotland that my wife watches. And I watch this sometimes, and it comes home to you. And of course, I worked in I used to work repairing silo motors for a while. But when you take on, when you domesticate an animal, you have to recreate their whole ecology, and you're putting them in places that, like, for example, out in the woods or out in the field, they just eat and crap. Not a big deal. You put them all in the barn, they all have to eat there, so you have to bring the food to them, and you have to transport all the waste away. And it used to be they just shovel it out in the old days, good old peasant, primitive so-called days. Well, now they hose it down, they hose it out. It makes a slurry, and the slurry gets into the hose. So the hose now need to have vets visit them, right? So you've got to take everything into account. It's amazing. But on the other hand, when you think about how a farmer never has a vacation, I can go on vacation. A farmer goes on vacation, and the whole place will go to hell in like 24 hours. But
Can I add to that?
farmer was creating food for himself every day. Really, sustaining ourselves is something that all humans have had to work for every day of their lives, day in,
Listen,
day out, or you don't eat. So this whole
Otto,
idea of being able to order food from UPS, or FedEx, is very new.
Yeah.
Otto, I want so the pain of the farming, things that I never took into consideration. and that is having to breed the animals.
No, the animals breed themselves. So you don't breed the animals.
Yeah,
Don't get excited. You
Well,
don't breed the animals. Please.
I've seen some stuff that would show you the contrary.
I probably
So
Yeah,
The old
that's-
joke. The old joke where the mummy cow meets a daddy cow.
maybe I landed on the wrong side of the internet. I might hit it.
No,
I don't
you-
know,
no,
but
you were always
yeah.
talking about the donkey show, so okay.
yeah.
Well, okay. So something else I
Think of a
I
second.
found interesting was how, but the animals, they get hurt more often than we would think. Because yeah, they're hooves. The horses, the cows. There are doctors and professionals that go in just to carve those things out if they get any infections from cysts from being stabbed through the horn. Well, that's what they call it, the horn, which is the hard stuff that comes out of the foot, right? They have to carve those things down and fight infections, which has to be super expensive.
That's the other thing too. The feet, like the surfaces they walk on, are not what they're designed to walk on. The hooves don't wear down properly. They can get sharp edges, and they can
Right.
get infected very easily. And if you've ever kept horses, horses get sick so easy. Everyone I've known that ever had horses, constantly, vet bills and this and that. They're liable to all, glanders, the bots, lung infections and stuff. It's amazing how much you take on yourself and how much work goes into just feeding yourself and